The ground trembles, but not enough to warn you, only enough to remind you. Something is always moving beneath your feet. A low, distant rumble rolls across the horizon, deep, ancient, almost alive. It doesn't stop. It never fully fades. It lingers like a breath held too long. Here, silence doesn't exist, only waiting. This is the Kamchatka Peninsula, a land where fire never sleeps. Across this vast wilderness, the Earth breaks its own surface again and again. Volcanoes rise like scars, perfect cones, shattered peaks, blackened ridges carved by eruptions that never truly ended. There are more than 300 volcanoes here, dozens of them still active. Each one a doorway, each one connected to something far deeper than the land itself. The air carries a constant tension. Cold winds sweep down from glaciers, colliding with rising heat from the ground. Steam coils upward from unseen cracks. Snow falls and melts before it settles. Fire and ice share the same breath. This place should not work. And yet, it does. Ash drifts through the sky, fine and silent, settling over forests that stretch endlessly into the distance. Dark soil feeds thick vegetation, green, dense, alive in ways that feel impossible so close to constant destruction. Life grows here because of the fire, not in spite of it. The ground is young, restless. New land forms where lava cools, black rock hardening into shapes that haven't yet been worn down by time. Rivers carve paths through it, steaming in places where the heat below still lingers. Everything here feels unfinished, like the world is still being built. In the distance, one peak begins to change. At first, it's subtle, a shift in the air, a darker plume rising against the sky. Then, movement. Smoke thickens. The mountain exhales, and suddenly it happens. An eruption. Violent, immediate, unstoppable. Ash explodes upward, towering into the sky like a storm born from the earth itself. Lava follows, slow, glowing, relentless, spilling down the sides of the volcano in rivers of fire that consume everything in their path. There is no panic here, no sudden chaos, only inevitability. Because this is what this land does, over and over and over again. Time doesn't move the same way here. Centuries pass and the cycle continues. Erupt, cool, grow, destroy, repeat. And yet, something watches. In the shadow of these volcanoes, movement cuts through the wilderness. Massive, silent. A brown bear, one of the largest land predators on Earth. It walks without urgency, without fear, navigating terrain shaped by fire as if it has always belonged here. Because it has. For generations, these animals have lived alongside eruptions, ashfall, and shifting ground. They fish in rivers fed by glaciers, dig through volcanic soil, and disappear into forests that thrive in the aftermath of destruction. This is not a temporary survival. This is adaptation. Life here does not resist the chaos, it becomes part of it. The rivers run fast and cold, cutting through valleys carved by ancient flows of lava. Steam rises where heat still escapes from beneath the surface, turning water into mist that drifts through the trees. Everything moves. Water, air, fire. Nothing stays still long enough to feel permanent. Even the sky shifts constantly, clear one moment, swallowed by ash the next. Light filters through particles suspended in the air, turning the sun into something dim, distant, almost unreal. And still, life continues. Birds circle above volcanic ridges, riding thermal currents rising from the heat below. Insects crawl across warm rock. Plants push through ash, drawing strength from minerals released during destruction. It feels wrong. It feels impossible. But it is happening, right now. The ground cracks open in places, revealing glowing veins beneath the surface. Heat escapes in bursts, turning the air thick and shimmering. You can feel it on your skin, an invisible force rising from below. A warning, a reminder. This land is not stable. It is only temporarily quiet. And sometimes, not even that. Night falls differently here. Darkness doesn't hide the landscape. It reveals it. Because as the sky fades to black, the earth begins to glow. Lava pulses in the distance, painting the horizon in deep reds and oranges. Smoke reflects the light, turning entire sections of the sky into shifting, fiery clouds. The ground breathes heat. The mountains flicker with life. It feels like standing inside something alive, something vast, something ancient beyond comprehension. And yet, the cold remains. Temperatures drop sharply, freezing the air even as fire continues to burn. Frost forms on rock just meters away from molten lava. Ice clings to surfaces warmed only hours before. Opposites collide here, constantly, without resolution. This is not balance. This is tension. A fragile, shifting equilibrium between forces that should destroy each other, but don't. They coexist, for now. Deep beneath the surface, pressure builds again. Magma moves through hidden channels, pushing upward, searching for release. The ground swells slightly. Cracks deepen, heat intensifies. There is no schedule, no pattern you can trust, only inevitability. Another eruption will come. It always does.
And when it does, everything will change again. Landscapes will be erased, new ones will rise. Forests will burn and return. Rivers will shift, mountains will reshape themselves. Nothing here is final. Nothing here is permanent. And that is what makes this place so powerful, so unsettling, so alive. Because it shows a version of Earth we rarely see. Not calm, not stable, but active, unfinished, still becoming. The Kamchatka Peninsula is not just a place of extremes. It is a place of process. A window into the forces that built this planet and continue to shape it. Every eruption is a reminder, every tremor a signal, every plume of ash a message rising from deep within the earth. This world is not fixed. It is moving, breathing, changing, constantly. And here, in one of the most remote places on Earth, you can see it happen. Not in the past, not in theory, but now, in real time. Fire rises, ice forms, life adapts, and the cycle continues, endlessly, relentlessly, unstoppably. Because in this land, the earth does not rest, it does not sleep, it does not pause. It only continues, becoming something new, again and again and again. And you are only witnessing a moment of it, a brief glimpse of a world that will never be the same twice. Because here, fire never sleeps.